All right. So these pumps are already metered, so it's 1-to-1, one pump to one pump. And if they've been sitting for a while, you gotta prime them. And put these gloves on. So the way to prime the pump is these little small, make sure that's in there, good. Got my regular plastic plate, leftover McDonald's thing, clean when it's wiped off. So the way you prime the pump is just little pumps. So it's ready. So one, all the way down slow. So I usually just do 2 and 2 at a time. So that's 4 each. So that's 6 each. So it's important to mix it for 2 minutes. So they say, because you want to thoroughly get the epoxy mixed together. Don't add any fillers or any other components until you thoroughly mix the epoxy. And I used to use cups when I first started doing this, but what I've learned is when you use a cup and you got the cup in your hand, the cup will become hot. And I had wasted plenty of cups because the material kicked off before I had gotten the chance to use it all. And somebody told me to use a bowl or something else because it literally just stays cooler. So I used to take my material outside and use it. I don't do that anymore. I keep it inside where it's a cool, comfortable 75 degrees, maybe 74 because I'm in the basement. But go ahead and mix that. And then for what I'm doing, you don't have to, but I like to kind of figure out what I'm doing. So I use this little medicine cup to kind of get a ratio of what I'm doing. So here I'm going to do 2 medicine cups first. See how thick it gets. Kind of want it like mayonnaise. Maybe a little bit runnier than mayonnaise. And we should have about 20 minutes to work with this. Now I've got 4 joints to do. All right. So I'm figuring 3 pumps per joint. So I'm thinking this will get me 2 joints. So keep mixing that. That's sort of like a loose porridge. Not quite thick enough, so now we know 2 is not right, not enough. Let's do the 3rd one. See how that turns out. Yeah, that's going to be perfect. So 6 pumps and 3 medicine cups worth of filler. All right. So let's go ahead outside and get it on. Hit the pause button, not the stop button. Right, so we're outside, and I guess we've been mixing this for about 3 or 4 minutes now. So we know we got it thoroughly mixed. Little thicker than porridge, a little looser than mayonnaise. I guess we'll call this mustard. Ketchup. And so if you see my workspace, I've got it on the Keelson, and I've got some boards under it just to lift it up. Got some plastic because I don't want to get anything on my Keel Sun. So we got it covered. Got a couple different trowels here. This is the one I really want to use. It's got the teeth on it. That'll give me, able to spread it properly. So this has been sanded, cleaned up, and I'm gonna generally put about half of this on here and see. Now remember, this might not be enough. Matter of fact, it looked like it's not enough to do two. It'll probably just do one joint, but we'll see. We'll see. So it's nice and slow. Don't make a mess. And then just try to spread it around. Yeah, this is not enough to do more than one. So looks like we're going to be doing 24 pumps today. On the other one. Now we went from inside the house where it was 74, well in the basement it's probably cooler, to outside where it's probably 90 degrees right now, and a relative humidity inside of probably 60, to out here where it's probably 90% humidity. So you can smell this epoxy already. It's not setting up, but it's like the Wonder Twins. It's being activated. So we're just going to spread this around a little bit more. Now, if you've never worked with epoxy before, it can be a little daunting at first, but once you start doing it, just like any other glue, except it's crazy expensive and crazy hard. So this Keel gets trimmed down. So this Keel plate gets trimmed down, and it's not actually as long or as wide as what I've gotten here. So I'm really focusing on the middle because that's where I need my best contact. So I'm trying to get some more out of this mixing thing. Set that there. Pull over. And you'll find, like I just came outside from inside. Inside the house is nice and cool. Outside, it's hot and humid. And this stuff is actually loosening up as I work it. I can feel it. So, which is cool. So, like that. Joint okay. And there we go. So that's my first rough pass. Now what we're going to do, use a trowel just to try to give it some teeth, like you would do a carpet, anything else. Try to get that edge good. And get this edge good. Like putting my fingers in this crap, but some valuable stuff in there. That's why I wear gloves. Some over here in this little spot. I'll get it all out. clean my thumb off. And oh, I'll do that one first and use this one. I'll spread it some more. Work it into the low spots. Edge is good. Alright, so that's that. So now what I'm going to do is connect it. Just kind of work it around a little bit. Get it in place. Well, we ran out of memory. I had to delete some videos, but just wanted to come back. This was the first one. Didn't get a chance to clean up before it's set up, but we got good penetration, and we had good spill out or squeeze out. So some of the stuff I didn't get to clean up. Trying to get the other ones done. This is the second joint here. Same thing. Good squeeze out. Good layup. And the third one, of course, even better. I actually mixed this one a lot thicker than the other ones we had mixed. So came out pretty good. So this is the Keel. Been lightly sanded, still haven't sanded the sides, but it's looking better. Let's go on the other side here. Same thing. We had pretty good squeeze out, and this is the one where I had to fill out that hole first. So mixed it a lot thicker. Actually mixed more. 8 pumps instead of 6. And just showing you the other sides of these layups. You see this has a little bit of a difference in height. I'll have to come back and feather this board away with the power plane. Just smooth that out a little bit. Don't have to, but I will. And so that's the end of that layup. Pretty good. Good clamp pressure. Nice and cool under the shade here. Now let me tell you what I was going to do. Initially, I said I was going to start building my frames. But then I thought about something. Let's step over here. My plan is always to frame out the actual keel before I moved to a boatyard to work. The hull itself is 9'6" high, and with the trailer and the doghouse, you know, it's about 11 feet, so I couldn't put the keel on here and carry it across the road without getting a special permit and a crazy trailer. So I decided that I would attach the keel when I get to a boatyard, but I would frame it here. So initially I was going to frame out the whole thing, put the frames on, and then build the keel, you know, and just detach it and carry it separately. Well, I thought about something. That's 12 feet. The keel would have to go above that. And so I basically would have to be working on some type of platform, scaffolding, trying to frame that thing and then somehow lift it off. I anticipate when it's all said and done, the keel, the framing for the keel itself will weigh about 400 pounds. So not too heavy, but pretty heavy when it would be, you know, see, the boat hole will be about right there, you know, 9'6" off the ground. So the keel, the hole would be here, and the keel would be, of course, through the roof. That would be too heavy to lift. So what I decided to do is I'm going to actually frame the keel while it's at a workable height. So the keel is roughly 3'3" off here. So we're talking like the keel's probably going to go right there to the top of that. So I can work with that easily from here. Good standing level, good working level to frame out the keel. So what I'll do is I'll actually frame it and screw it together, glue it together, but I will not glue it to the keelson. I will use the keelson, of course, as a template to know how to cut the angles of all the wood and all that, but it will not be glued. It'll just be screwed. Then I'll screw and glue all the other components. So when I'm done, it won't be sheathed either. This will be a skeleton, okay? And when I'm done, I'll take the skeleton, wrap it up, and let it sit somewhere else in the yard. Lots of stuff going on today, so hopefully I'll get this one up too, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. What else I want to share? Some design plans. Let me show you how that goes. Okay, so here we are. Again, so I wanted to show you this. So here is the keel. This is going to be terrible in video, but this right here is, of course, where the keelson, which is here, and you can see it right here. This represents the thickness of the keelson. This represents the location of the floors. And then this dashed line is the location of the frame. So at any rate, instead of building all of this on top of that tent structure, I'm going to do it while it's down. And so here is a plan of the keelson. So basically there's a box for the centerboard. Why does this shake when I talk? Is my voice that deep? Lord have mercy. Anyway, you see it comes back 2'3". Then there'll be a 3-inch spacer here. That 3-inch spacer will allow for the centerboard trunk, and it comes back 5'1", another 3-inch spacer. Then it slowly tapers back to a dimension. It goes from 8 inches to 9.25. Then at the end it's 6 inches at the end where the rudder is. Okay, so what I built today in terms of that laminate, the lamination process, was this beam here. This is the plate for the keel. I think that's what I'm calling it. Let's see. Let's go over here. Okay, yeah. 8 by 1.5 keel base plate, which is this beam here. And like I said, it gets cut. It starts off at 8, widens up till 9.25, then tapers back till 6 at the very aft part of the keel. But the construction is this. There is the base plate, and there are 4 beams inside here which make up a keel beam. But if you notice, in this section, this one beam is dashed because the what am I calling these? The keel frames come down from the keelson, and they are notched out to go around the 2 centerpieces of this beam, and then the outer part of the beam will be put in after the framing is done. So essentially we have a very, very beefy structure here. We've got, I'm calling it a 6 by 8 composite keel beam, which will be those basically four 2x10s, and then the one 2x10, which we actually did today. We did the epoxy lamination of that, which makes up the base plate. We've got Keel frames. Then up here you can see how the floors, right here, the floors are here, which attach to the frames of the boat. So you see the floors that go all the way across, which are also attached to the keelson. So that makes up the framing for the keel. So, hope you learned something about my boat, my construction method, and my plan. So, I was planning on doing framing for the boat, but since I have the opportunity, I am going to frame the keel instead. That'll probably take a month because there's a lot of work back there. Some tapers, lots of cuts. But I want to get it done because that's going to be impossible or very difficult to build up high and then remove. So we'll hopefully get to the framing in August, September. But I will also be working on putting some of the frames together because Ray runs out of work when he comes. So I taught him how to work with epoxy today, so hopefully he can do some of that. And so that's it. This is the final video for the day, I promise. Until next week, peace and blessings. I hope you're excited because I am.